Many people in America today are trying to live the American dream. What I mean by this is they're trying to have the perfect home, job, family, and finances. They're having to work longer hours to pay for the extra things that they have. Parents are trying to juggle work, their own extracurricular activities, plus activities of their children. This type of lifestyle has taken its toll on the health of the American people today. What we find is at younger ages, we're dealing with heart attacks, high blood pressure, diabetes, and depression. And because of this, more people are trying to reduce the stress on their bodies. In an effort to reduce depression, pain, and just live healthier lives, laughter is an effective avenue that can be taken to reach this epitome of better health. I'll give you a brief overview of the things we're going to talk about. My first point today is going to be how that laughter helps us mentally. The second point will be how laughter helps us physically. Point number 3 is how laughter helps us to live a healthier life. Point 4 will be how laughter helps us have better brain function. And point number 5 is how laughter is an intervening factor. Now, we're going to move on to point number 1. We're going to talk about laughter helping us mentally. Depression in the individual. What does depression do? Depression causes a person to want to pull off, to isolate themselves. Sometimes this causes them to feel hopeless. How does laughter help with depression? Laughter helps because it helps a depressed person interact with other people. A study done by Sophia Scott using hearing laughter showed some positive results. What happened was, just by a person hearing laughter, it caused muscles in their face to start moving and muscles to start moving, getting ready to laugh. So this showed that just hearing laughter causes a good response for the body to start acting. So that's how laughter will help a depressed person. The second point that I'd like to bring to your attention today is pain, a physical form, pain in the individual. It's a gentleman named Norman Cousins that wrote a book called Anatomy of an Illness. And pain medications were not working for him, so he turned to using bouts of laughter and high doses of vitamin C to help him with his pain. His claim is that 10 minutes of laughter would help him rest for 2 hours. Let's talk about pain and medicine. There's a lot of pain medicine out, but these medicines cause a lot of side effects that we would not like to deal with. Okay, number 3. We're going to talk about how that laughter helps us live a healthier life. And one of these ways is with the blood vessels. I'm going to get my little exercise ball here. If you'll notice, if you hold this ball and squeeze it real tight, see how my knuckles are turning white? There's a lot of stress going on, okay? Stress, this is what it does to your heart and does it to your body, and it just continues to block arteries. What happens is there's an endothelium, which is a protective area of the blood vessels that helps the blood flow through. So when we're under a lot of stress, it pushes down on the endothelium and it causes it to block the blood, which causes fat and cholesterol to collect. But laughter does something opposite. It has a stress factor and then a release. A stress factor and then a release. So when it does this, this helps the blood to flow through faster. So that's how laughter is found to affect the blood vessels. It makes them contract, helps the blood to flow through a lot easier. Another area how it helps us live a healthier life is the blood cells. Okay, I have another example here I'd like to use. This Dial soap has some little blue crystals in it. And what I'd like to talk about is, like, our body has cells, and there's fighting cells that fight against disease and things. Okay, these crystals, when it's activated by water, and this soap, it takes on a whole different change. And if you'll notice, the more I do friction and do all this, the more soap becomes, and the more the little blue crystals dissolve. This is an example of how with laughter, the more laughter that we have, and this blood flow gets to going better. Tests have shown, Dr. Michael Miller and Dr. William F. Ryan and Dr. Berg did a study that showed how that laughter helps better, I think it's the T cells, helps them to increase. And when these cells increase, What it does is helps keep the system cleaner and the blood cleaner. Just like the soap smells so good, feels good, makes you feel good, that's the way that laughter helps our blood cells feel and makes the body feel healthier. Okay, point number 4, better brain function. When we laugh, it causes our brains to be aroused.
Since we're talking about brain function, I have a question. Can laughter be used in a classroom?
Yes, I'm glad you asked that question. If you have a sleepy student, laughter sometimes will get that sleepy student's brain to activating, and then that helps them better learn in the classroom. Otherwise, they might be detached. But if you start out with some humor, that it helps involve them.
Well, another question. Is there research to prove this?
Yes, there's research done by Dr. Christy Nielsen, and what they did was they told students jokes while using MRI to see what part of the brain was functioning. And while the students tried to figure out the jokes, they caught the activity of the brain. The parts of the brain that were found were the parts that we need for understanding and learning. Thus, this proves that laughter expands the mind and the intellect. Humor creates less boredom in the classroom, causes more interaction. All right, in closing, my 5th point. How do we tie all this together? Laughter is a major intervening factor. Well, if you'll notice, all of these issues are brought on or increased even from stress, okay? So stress affects us mentally, physically. Stress affects if we're living healthier lives or not. It affects our brain function because it causes us to not be able to think straight and critically. Well, laughter intervenes by relieving that stress, which therefore helps the mind with the depression, our pain, our physical movement of our body, and the cleansing processes. That's how laughter is an intervention. It helps lift our mood, it relieves stress, and laughter just is an overall way to enjoy our life. It helps with depression, I already said that. Alright, lastly I'd like to leave you with this note, closing up. There's a quote by Max Beerbohm, and what he says is, no one ever died laughing. So that should be encouragement for all of us to laugh because it is healthy for you. Thank you.